I have absolutely no idea what you keep in your refrigerator. But if it's anything like the fridge in my house, it's full at the beginning of the week when the shopping's done, and then it very quickly empties because, we feast on what's in the fridge. And, there's a sense in which it would be wonderful if that refrigerator didn't require us to do the shopping, but somehow, miraculously, it just stayed full so that there was an endless supply. I'm sure you'd like that too in your home. But I've been thinking of a verse in Ephesians chapter 3, where Paul writes this in verse 16, "I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being." Now, maybe you can see now why I use the fridge illustration, because we're saying that there's a strengthening of the inner being that comes from the supply. You get the connection. But here we're talking about the supply being the glorious riches that God has. That's a never-ending supply. And we're talking about the fact that by the Spirit, those glorious riches can transform our inner being. This is far better than the fridge, isn't it? This is God's endless supply of glorious riches. Now, the way that Paul writes this is to say that I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being. And in some ways that sounds as if it's putting the onus on God. God, you need to do this for us. But I do believe that God is so totally willing to do that for us that in some ways it's not about his giving, it's about our receiving. And I really want to encourage you to actually think about receiving those glorious riches through the Spirit to build you up in your inner being. And if you can do that knowing it's an endless supply of absolutely glorious riches, that will definitely make a difference to the way that you live. And I know it will make a difference to the way that I live too.